All right, let's just dive right in. Today, we're exploring how a revolutionary new blueprint is completely rewriting the rules of launching a fashion brand. If you've ever had this amazing vision for a collection but felt entirely locked out by the traditional gatekeepers of the industry, well, this explainer is going to completely shift your perspective. We're looking at a totally frictionless ecosystem that takes the old, capital-heavy way of making clothes and just turns it completely on its head. I want you to imagine stepping into the fashion industry without the massive upfront capital, without the manufacturing nightmares, and definitely without those giant warehouses full of unsold inventory. For decades, emerging designers have been trapped in the exact same vicious cycle, right? You empty your savings, you guess what people might want, and then you just pray to the fashion gods that your inventory actually sells. But what if launching a collection required literally zero guesswork?
Think about what happened to the restaurant industry not too long ago. Ghost kitchens quietly took over by simply stripping away the host stands and the dining room. Well, the ghost atelier model is doing the exact same thing to fashion. We are witnessing the death of the industry's absolute oldest assumption, the idea that a brand actually needs a physical building or heavy overhead to even exist. You don't need a design studio, you don't need a factory, and you certainly don't need a massive warehouse anymore.
It's basically the ultimate showdown. You've got the old guess right and spend first gamble going up against a new model built on pure certainty. Honestly, the old way of doing fashion was never really a business model. It was a casino. Traditional accelerators fund a hunch, and you find out 6 months later if the market actually agrees with you. But this new model, it doesn't bet. It relies on a system where your collection gets paid for before it ever even gets made. This brings us to what is basically the ultimate weapon against risk. We call it the demand-first workflow. It's a 5-step blueprint that transforms a mere instinct into a shipped product. First, you design the concept. Second, you reveal it to real customers before a single yard of fabric is even cut. Third, you prove it by opening up deposits. The market votes with their actual money, not just likes on social media. Fourth, if you hit your threshold, you produce. And finally, you fulfill. No deposits cleared, no fabric cut. It is mathematically risk-free. Now, to actually pull this off in the real world, you need serious infrastructure. This ecosystem gives you an enterprise-grade arsenal. We are talking about a totally integrated AI design engine, a vetted network of over 1,200 global factories with pre-negotiated low minimums, a unified fulfillment center, and built-in storefronts. It's a shared platform that designs, manufactures, stores, and sells globally, all without you owning a single machine. It's pretty wild. Let's make this concrete and meet our first founder, Amara. She's a solo founder with 40,000 highly engaged followers and this really bold, specific vision, fusing West African wax print traditions with highly structured European tailoring. It's a gorgeous aesthetic, but there's a huge disconnect here. Despite her massive audience, she has absolutely zero factory experience. In the old world, she'd be stuck, instantly, lacking the massive capital and the technical supply chain knowledge to even get off the starting line. But instead of hitting that traditional brick wall, she uses the ecosystem's design engine to just bypass the barrier completely. She inputs her vision, and the AI generates a factory-ready pattern pack. And listen, this isn't just a pretty sketch. It is a hard, buildable construction spec that a real factory can cut from. By getting this exact spec right from day one, Amara entirely eliminates the danger of design and capital risk. And her story reaches its climax when she opens up deposits to her 40,000 followers. Exactly 68 paid deposits clear the threshold. That specific number triggers production. Think about what that actually means. Her brand was completely funded by real, verified demand before a single seam was ever sewn. She built a brand exclusively for the people who wanted it, with absolutely zero unsold stock sitting on a rack, gathering dust. Next up, we've got Kwame, who is carrying 3 generations of a dying tradition. For a heritage creator like him, the ultimate fear with modern manufacturing is that it will flatten a rich, deeply nuanced cultural craft into some cheap, mass-market decoration. His intricate ties and scarves demand deep cultural respect and structural integrity. He doesn't want just an aesthetic knockoff. Well, this is where the tech gets really profound, because it inherently respects his craft. The platform's design layer treats his heritage as engineering and philosophy, not just a surface-level ornament. It actively tags the provenance on every single inferred decision in that pattern pack to preserve its absolute soul. So the factory doesn't just get a reference picture, they get a culturally and technically accurate blueprint to build from. The result? Total global takeoff with zero compromise.
Kwame reaches buyers worldwide, and his craft's integrity remains fully intact. He successfully scales his multi-generational family tradition to the world. But here's the kicker. Production only starts after the market says yes with their wallets. The cultural integrity remains perfectly preserved, and the financial risk is entirely neutralized. Finally, let's look at Deja. She is a boutique owner, and quite frankly, she is tired of watching her margins walk out the door on everyone else's labels. She knows her customers' tastes better than anyone and is fully ready to launch her own premium sneaker capsule. The problem? Traditional factory minimums would force her to blindly order 500 units she hasn't even tested yet. That is a massive gamble. Her superpower in this ecosystem is exact run sizing with zero minimums. Because she's plugged into a massive shared network with pre-negotiated rates, she can size her production run exactly to her confirmed customer pre-orders. She completely avoids gambling on hundreds of untested units, effectively bringing her inventory risk down to zero. It's a total game changer for independent retail. So, the outcome? Deja successfully drops a highly profitable private label capsule built entirely around her store's exact confirmed customer demand. She didn't have to become a supply chain expert overnight. She just used the shared infrastructure to seamlessly capture the upside for her own business. Once production wraps, the sheer logistical muscle of this ecosystem really flexes. Products ship directly from the global factories straight to a shared, unified fulfillment center. By pooling resources with thousands of other operators, you slash fulfillment costs by almost half. Whether you are shipping 200 orders or 1,000, the savings prove the pragmatic brilliance of a shared operational model. No hidden receiving fees, just pure, unadulterated scale. Which brings us to the ultimate takeaway for you. The gap between having a great idea and having a funded, actively selling collection used to be measured in years and massive six-figure investments. Today, it is literally just a pattern pack and a deposit threshold. The old gatekeepers are obsolete. The friction has been engineered entirely out of the system. So the only question left for your own origin story is, who moves first?